College hoops, coast to coast. We're back. National champs. Coach Jerome Tang, associate head coach, Baylor Bears. What's up, Coach? How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Did you do that beat yourself?
That was the team. I can't take full responsibility. The team behind the scenes made it happen.
Man, that's a
Pretty,
serious beat right there.
pretty good. Kevin starts dancing normal. He didn't do it tonight though.
Go on.
I'll let Kevin get it started because I know he's got to run.
Well, yeah. First off, I mean, obviously, congrats on the national championship. It's a special thing. When you get to think back now to that night and the days after, what is the kind of first thing that comes into your mind?
Joy, just pure joy and thankfulness for the guys and the opportunity to work with them, coach them, to live life with them, and our staff. It's just a great group of people, man. Like just the whole experience, not just winning, but like just spending that 2 years together. That was just incredible.
And it was such a unique one, given it was in the bubble and you guys were kind of locked in together. How much do you think it helped that you had such an experienced group that had really been together for 2 straight years of winning basketball games when you went into that month of kind of a pressure cooker, right? I mean, it's basketball with everything on the line.
Well, actually, I thought it was better for us because just think of how many days of travel and how much distraction that was eliminated. We had a group of guys who they were either in the gym or they were in their apartments. That's just the kind of guys they were. And so in the bubble, they were either in the gym or they were in their hotel room. And so they would just live in their same life. We didn't have the distraction of having to come back to campus and everybody being excited after the first 2 rounds and them having to spend a lot of time, getting ticket stuff situated and then, trying to practice, coach having to do media, and then us getting on a plane and flying again. So you eliminated 2 travel days coming back to campus and going to the next site that we got to be in one spot, be able to take care of all the ticket stuff because there wasn't really a lot of ticket stuff, right? And then coach could do, he didn't have to do in-person media. Everything could be done via Zoom. And so that was done quicker. So a lot of distractions were eliminated. And I feel like that really helped us.
When you look ahead to this season, really right on the doorstep now, it's such a different team. When the expectation has been set up here with what happened last year and the success you had, what are the challenges for a lot of these new guys integrating into the culture you guys have had, which has really been, I think, one of the best cultures in college basketball. There's a reason you've been successful. It's obviously talented players and first-round draft picks, but also, just an unbelievable connected group. How does the challenge of maintaining that culture with all these new players, balance in?
Well, our older guys have done a really good job of, setting the example for the new and the new guys and the new younger guys, just showing them how we do things. That we're not a group of guys where you walk in the door and people have these individual expectations of you. Where we've had a group that's earned it by putting in time in the dark and then being able to shine in the light. And that's the kind of guys that we want. And that's the kind of guys that really have success in our environment. And so those guys have come in, they've seen the example, they're buying into it. We are working together to get there. We're not defending anything. I mean, that's in the past, that's gone. We're on a new journey to win our own national championship with this team. And those guys, and you love those types of expectations because I've been at Baylor when there was no expectations. And so we are excited that there are expectations.
Kev, you got anything else before you run? You want to ask one more?
I could talk to this guy for a day and a half, but in the interest of time, well, you take the reins here, B.
We'll let you get one more before you go. You just drop it and then fade out.
Sure. Give us the 60-second rundown on James Akinjo and what makes him special.
He's a super competitor. I mean, just like one of the most competitive uh, people I've ever been around, and he's also one of the hardest workers I've ever been around. And I mean, he is in the gym in the morning. He comes to practice and he's upset when practice ends. Um, and then he's back in the gym again at night. He's getting an extra lift with our strength coach. I mean, just a relentless worker. And then when the ball is tipped for any kind of drill, anything we're doing, he is trying to win. And you just love people like that. And I just appreciated how he is just dove headfirst into our culture, and he's Baylor 100%. And so just absolutely love him.
Love it. Love it. Appreciate it, Kev. We'll see you back in a little bit, and we'll get with Coach Tang next time. Coach, talk about this. You have, I think I saw a picture just the other day on NBA.com or social media with two of your players, Jared Butler and Davion Mitchell, if I'm not mistaken, playing against each other and holding up the jersey. I mean, what does it mean to be able to see two guys, not only they won a national championship, but to be in the NBA, achieving their dream, competing against each other, showing that brotherhood? What was that like for you?
Man, it was a proud moment to see it. Um, I you just our goal as coaches is to the reason why we do what we do is to help young men fulfill their dreams and to grow as people. And those guys, I mean, they exemplify everything that you would want your players to be about. They're about teammates, they're about doing the right things, they're about hard work. They love each other, and they love each other by competing against each other hard on the court every day, and then really supporting each other off the court. And to see them trade those jerseys and the smile on their face and the I mean, it was really, really cool. So
Yeah, you got a few of them in the NBA, and then now, what is it like for recruiting? You have national championship you can sell, you have even more pros that you can sell, and guys that weren't even probably projected to be NBA players, really, but the winning changed all that, for the most part, because the stage that they continue to be on and showing how competitive they were and they could do it against the best really raised their stock. So how does that change recruiting? I know you guys were already recruiting really well anyway, but how does it change recruiting now that people know you can win a national championship at Baylor?
well, it makes you can get involved with anybody, and
Mm-hmm.
but you just can't take anyone. You've got to find the young men that fit who you are about, what you're about, that care about the things that are important to your program and your culture, and not just the glitz and the glamour. That's not those type of kids won't make it
Right.
at our place. We got to have guys who are grinders, guys who want to play on both ends of the floor,
Right.
guys who want to love their teammates and be a
Right.
part of a team. And we're constantly trying to find young men who want to buy Baylor and not just rent Baylor. And
Mm.
so that's and we feel like it's the work that we put in evaluating them on and off the court, and then just being really honest and recruiting with them on what we see and how we can help. Um, that I think it just allows us to be successful, and our goal is not just we want to sustain the success,
Right. Right.
and after watching that confetti fall from the sea, you talk about it all the time
Yeah. Yeah.
when you're younger about, man, you want to win the last game, you want to cut down the nets, you want to see the confetti fall, but man, when it really happens, when you're really climbing up that ladder and cutting them nets, and you really get to sit on the floor and watch the confetti come down, and then watch one shining moment
Right.
from that floor, it makes you just want to do it again.
Mm.
And not just because you want to experience it, but you want to help the next young man
No doubt.
experience it. And so we have to be careful in who we let into the family.
For sure. It's a sacred place. Coach, talk about you. Obviously, you're a big part of leading the defensive game plan, the defensive practice, the defensive strategy. I would imagine, like most things, is trending. When Syracuse won the national championship, everybody wanted to run zone. Now you guys won the national championship. Everybody wants to call Baylor and figure out, well, how do you do that? How are you guys defending like that? So, what has that part been like? It's got to be a little bit complimentary and flattery, but what has that part been like, knowing that you had one of the best teams in college basketball to play with that last team? And how do you handle all the phone calls of people wanting you to put on a defensive clinic for them?
Well, first of all, I'm honored that with some of the phone calls that we've gotten, but I'm also very careful to give credit, first of all, to Mark Adams at Texas
Yep.
Tech. And,
Yep.
there's two professions. I say this all the time, two professions in this world that you can plagiarize and not get in trouble. One is being a preacher. Nobody's ever preached an original sermon. And
Right.
two is being a basketball coach. We steal from each other. And I don't like hide it at all that we spend a lot of time studying what Mark Adams did at Texas Tech and picking people's brains, and then we adapted that to what fit for what we're about.
Right.
And so I mean, I want to give Coach Adams the credit
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
he so duly deserves, because there's a lot of people across the country that's playing it. A lot of people across the country are copying it.
Yep.
The difference is that we had Davion Mitchell and we had Mark Vidal, and we had Freddie Gillespie for a year, and then the next year Flo Thamba and Jonathan Chamo Chachua came along.
Yep.
And then Maceo Teague and Jared Butler was so competitive that they would not allow Davion Mitchell to be that much better of a defender than they were. And so they bought into playing defense. And so, we always say in coaching, first you change effort, then you change the player, and last you change the scheme. And with those guys, we never had to change effort and we never had to change players, and so therefore it made the scheme work.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Mark Adams is cool to see him get his shot at Texas Tech. Has been running that defense since he was at Howard Junior College. I remember those days when I was coaching against it, and it wasn't fun then, and hasn't changed. So, yeah, I love that you gave that credit too. Talk a little bit about. We know you had a recent injury to one of your stellar freshmen. Love just had an injury. How does that affect your roster? I know he was a young player, but a talented young player. How does that kind of affect your roster going into the year? And obviously, our hearts and prayers go out to him. You hate to see that for any young fella.
Oh man, yeah, heartbreaking for Langston. He was having such a great preseason. In fact, in the scrimmage against Texas A&M, when it happened with like 5 minutes to go, he already had 13 points. Was on his way to school. Minutes time, but the value he brought, every minute he was in at practice, and like whether he was in the first five or the second five, him being on the floor made each team better and would give whoever he was going against someone they had to compete hard against. And so now we're one man down, not just in games, but in practice also. So that's gonna affect us moving forward. And so we hated to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, and we wish him a health and safe recovery for sure. He definitely has a bright future as a player. Talk about the Baylor family, this coaching tree. I mean, it's just there's some magic in the water in Waco that people come to Waco, they drink the water. It's almost like the Space Jam juice at halftime. What is it about the way that coach allows his coaches under him to develop? What is it about the Baylor family and the coaching tree that allows for um, Paul Mills to have the success he's having, and Grant McCaslin and Coach Driscoll at North Florida, and obviously, those guys have left and had enormous success. But there's something about it. All you guys are winning at a high level. What do you think that is, Coach?
Well, I mean, even before that, when it was at Valpo, there was a guy there, Greg Tonagel, who, he's won 3 national championships, and yeah, 3 in a row in 4 and 5 years,
Wow.
at Indiana Wesleyan. And then you talk about Bryce. Bryce has led 3 Division I schools to the NCAA tournament.
Yep. And
And
had a
so,
championship year last year at Grand Canyon, coach's brother.
yeah, so it's they there's something to be said about the formula, and I think Coach Drew would be the first to tell you that the foundation of the whole formula is faith in Jesus Christ,
Mm,
and just that we're not ashamed that we preach the gospel of Jesus Christ to our young men, and in our staff meetings we have prayer and Bible study, and I say this all the time. The guys that I get to live life with every day, they help me be a better man, a better husband, and a better father.
right.
And if things are good at home, then things can be good in the office.
Right.
Right. But if things aren't good at home, things can't be good in the office.
Right.
It'll eventually break down, and that your players see and feel that,
Right.
and so when you got men who are building each other up and supporting each other and holding each other accountable to being the best version of ourselves every day, to being, making sure we're going to see our kids' games and going on date nights with our wives. And when
Right.
you got a guy, your head coach is bringing in marriage counselors to help you be better, and not just coaching clinics, but
Right.
and bringing in child psychologists to help you be a better parent,
Mm,
and you're spending you're spending family time, and he's invested in what's going on in your home and making sure things are okay. Then as a staff, it makes you want to work harder for him and
for
for each
sure.
other,
For sure.
and then we're pouring into our guys' lives, and our guys are getting to be around our family, and they're seeing us as husbands and fathers love our children and love our wives. That helps our guys be better men,
For sure.
and sets the example. And when you have that as your foundation, and then whatever your core beliefs are above that, Mac's big thing is belief,
Right.
belief,
Right.
and Mills is about, serving his players, and Coach Driscoll too. He's about, serving his players, and but whatever your core beliefs are, if for your program or how you want to play, when you have a solid foundation like that, you can build on it, and
Yep.
it's going to last.
Yeah, no doubt. I as a big believer myself, I got my believer shirt on as well. Uh, I think there's those points, coach, and tell me what this is like as a national champion. There's those points of validation, right? You've been sowing the seeds, you've been putting in the work. You guys came from, I mean, I don't know if there was a lower place that Baylor could have been in or any program when coach first got the job and you came there with him. So to go from the absolute bottom and then go to the absolute top and transform the whole perception of that program. I mean, just thinking about the journey, I know you're thinking forward about this year, but what was the validation like for you to be able to solidify that national championship from a faith standpoint?
Very much like Tony Dungy, when he won the Super Bowl with the Indianapolis Colts, he lost his job. They let him go in Tampa Bay because they didn't think he was a tough enough of a coach. The next year, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, after they let him go, win the championship. You know, um, Tony Dungy went to Indianapolis and had the same foundation, the same principles, loved his guys, servant leader. They win a Super Bowl. Had given the time at Tampa Bay, he'd have won the Super Bowl there. It that you don't. Some people think there's a certain way that you have to coach in order to get the most out of your players, and I firmly believe that what young people used to like run through the wall because of fear of some coaches, they won't do that anymore. And people don't take a bullet for those they fear; they take a bullet for those they love. And so we want our guys to act the right way, to go the extra mile, to do the little things, because of the love that they feel for each other and the love they feel for and from their coaches. And I believe that love is a greater motivator than fear. And so, what we did is just validate that love that we have and the style of coaching that we choose to use, that you can win it all, and you can be a man of character and principle, and reach the very highest level. And it doesn't make us perfect. We're not perfect people. We make mistakes, but we do our darndest to love our guys, and to treat them the way that we would want someone to treat our own children.
I love that, Coach. Powerful, powerful. Okay, last thing before we go. Anything funny that happened on the run, or entertaining, or just a good story that you can share a little bit behind the scenes? Because I know you guys have a lot of joy and you have a lot of fun and laughter. You work like anybody, but you have a lot of joy and laughter too. So give us a joyful story before we go.
Man, I got a couple of them, but we played we had cornhole. Right? I don't know if you ever seen the cornhole thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything about cornhole other than watching it, but there's actually a scoring system to it and all some strategy, and we got pretty good at playing cornhole. My man Red the Hustler, that's Maceo Teague, that's my nickname for him.
Okay.
Like he's always hustling, right? Always, right? So you got to look out for him. But he became a really good cornhole player. And then Davion Mitchell won the Connect Four, right?
Okay.
And we broadcasted on Instagram Live.
Okay.
While they was doing it, was him and LJ Cryer playing for the championship. And when LJ lost, his cousin, how you can put stuff in the chat. His cousin put in there, man, you choked. I saw that. I'm like, man, that's some tough family members. But the best thing is we did a karaoke night, and Coach Drew wouldn't allow any phones in for karaoke night, so that nobody could record it.
Okay.
Nah, but I had my phone though, right? and our boy AB. Now I'm not a big rap guy.
Okay.
But AB got up and put on a rap, right?
Did he really?
He was, what? And he was hitting the lyrics. I can't tell you what song it was, but every dude knew the song. And so AB would say part of it and then hold the mic out for the guys, and then they would say the next line. It was like, bro, it was like we was at a concert.
At a concert. Man. That's awesome.
Yeah, but you know how everybody thinks AB's quiet and reserved.
Right.
He was getting it in, and I got video of it. So one day that video gonna hit social media. I don't know when.
One day it's going viral.
One day it's going viral.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Coach, we appreciate you taking the time. We know it's always busy with the season. Thanks for taking the time to join us. We wanted to grab you before the season and let you have a great way and talk about the championship. I know you got to focus forward, but we had to go backwards just a little bit, man. We appreciate you taking the time. So happy for you. Well-deserved for the whole staff and program, and just happy to see the Baylor Bears put that national championship on the map. So congratulations. Any last words you have before you go, and then we'll let you get back to
it. Just thank you to you and Kevin for this opportunity. Appreciate all that y'all are doing for the game of basketball and for coaches, and just keep up the great work, and God bless and continue success.
Sounds good, Coach. See you soon. Thank you.
All right, babe.
Coach Jerome Tang, national champion, associate head coach, one of the best in the business. Excited for him. Obviously, Kevin had to go. But as long as that staff is there, the Baylor Bears will always be somebody that anybody who faces them will have to deal with and have to take very seriously on both sides of the ball. So excited that he joined us. We look forward to many more good interviews to come.